Hi, this is Wes Hardiger, and I'm going to give a quick tutorial and details about what it takes to change a Google Plus community image. And in particular, there's an interesting aspect of aspect ratios, coincidentally, that makes it difficult to pick a picture that is perfectly suitable for both environments. So the environments that I'm talking about are, one, when you're inside the community, you have this image that appears on the left-hand side, and the left-hand side icon is a 4x5. It is 4 height to 5 tall in its ratio of sizes. And that's wonderful, except that in the communities section, the aspect ratio is square. It's 1:1. And picking an image that works well in both of these contexts is difficult and challenging, especially if you have an important element that is representational of the community to put into it. You need to make sure that that element is not cut off on one side or the other. So let me show you how to change it, and when you're considering that, and how to pick an image that works well. So under the community section, there's a Edit Community button. And when I click that, I have this option to pick a new photo. So I'm going to pick a new photo, and I'm going to go into my albums, type Davis to search, and I'm looking for an image in particular. And waiting for it to load. There we go. And I'm actually looking at this one. This is the one I want to do. So note that when I move this cropping rectangle around, which I can change the size of by changing the little boxes down here, it gives me these gray bands on the left and the right hand side. So this is showing me the 4x5 is the inner fully lit up version, and the square crop for the communities list is the outer one. So the square crop will have this darker gray area included on the left and the right hand side, but when I'm in the community, only this middle section will be included. And they're locked together. You cannot replace have a different square crop than the 4x5. So I have no choice. So what I want to do is I want to try and, ideally I'd use the whole image, but I'd find that these aren't going to be perfect because I'm going to cut off some of the left and the right hand side, which is too bad because I actually like some of the left and right hand side. And in fact, if I hit cancel, I can go back and show you that one was already sort of pre-cropped. And I'll show you the original that I started with. That includes the full curve. You can see the curve of this train track over here. And now, the problem that I'm going to have with this image and what I'm going to do in order to sacrifice some of the image to fix it, ideally this full image is exactly what I want. It has these big sweeping curves of lit up train tracks that are reflecting. But if I look at just the 4x5 crop, you'll see that I have these lights that are sort of all gathered on the left hand side of the screen, and it's just not going to look that good. On the square it'll look perfect because I'll still get this curving sweep that kind of fills in the right hand side, but it's really going to feel cut off in the 4x5 section. So I'm actually going to crop it down a little bit and realize that I'm still going to miss the left and right hand sides. I super wish I could include them, but I can't, and that's okay. So I'm going to do something that I'm going to try and make it look good on both the square version and the 4x5 version. So I think that's probably about the best I can do. I'm missing lots of parts of the image that I originally like, but that's okay. I'm going to have to sacrifice that. Neither of the two versions is going to have my sweeping curve on the right-hand side, which I like so much. But it's still a good representational of the Davis, California community. So I'll click OK and wait while it thinks. And now it offers that I can save them. So the photo's been changed. And if I click Save, it will go in and update them. And now I can go to my list of communities, and we'll see the square version appear over there as well. And now it sort of looks pretty good in both locations. I've centered those lights so it doesn't look out of place. But that's about it. It's unfortunately, the two images are tied together. I wish I could pick sort of a slightly different version for each of them, but I can't do that easily, so I'm sort of stuck with having to choose an image that looks good in both the 4x5 and the square aspect ratio when they're locked together, and that's sort of the critical key part in choosing an image. So thanks very much. I hope this was useful to some of you, and talk to you another time.